Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. One-click protection for all your devices. Securing yourself couldn't be easier. Visit expressvpn.com/inside. A very cool reference to PT, also known as Silent Hill's playable teaser, was discovered by players recently in the new Director's Cut edition of Death Stranding. As you might have already known, Death Stranding Director's Cut, which just released on PS5 earlier this month, is a new and improved version of Kojima Productions' Death Stranding, and it's packed with all sorts of performance upgrades, new features, new abilities, new missions, and apparently some new spooky stuff. One short vignette in particular, which was shared on Twitter by YouTuber The Sphere Hunter, is being deemed as a pretty clear reference to PT's infamous spectral antagonist, Lisa. A video clip of the encounter shows Death Stranding's playable character, Sam Bridges, waking up in his private quarters to find a shadowy figure lurking in the shower. As Sam approaches the figure, it begins to shake and shudder in the same way Lisa does from PT. Then, just after the camera moves into first person, the figure leaps out and attacks Sam in the same way Lisa attacks the camera in PT. Of course, one of the places Lisa appears in PT is in the bathroom, and the movements plus the behavior are incredibly similar, making this a pretty clear callback. So much so that fans are now speculating what a PT reference in Death Stranding Director's Cut could mean for the future of Kojima Productions. A little bit of context for the uninitiated, PT was a demo for a new Silent Hill game that never came to be, known as Silent Hills. Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro were co-directing, with Norman Reedus starring as the lead protagonist. Unfortunately, Kojima and Konami began having disputes internally sometime during the development of Silent Hills and Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, which ultimately ended up with Kojima and his top staff leaving the company, who of course would go on to move Kojima Productions to the US and then release Death Stranding a few years later. Before that though, Konami officially canceled Silent Hills back in 2015 and even pulled PT from the PlayStation Store, so you can't even download it anymore. Now, despite being a free demo that probably took most players somewhere around 2 hours to complete, PT's clever use of space, player psychology, terrifying mechanics, and replayability single-handedly redefined what horror games could be. All the excitement and reverence around PT is exactly what has fans riled up, questioning the intentions behind the reference in Death Stranding's Director's Cut. Will Kojima's next project be a horror game? Will Konami and Kojima somehow team up once again to make Silent Hills happen for real? Or maybe more realistically, Microsoft or Sony buys out the Silent Hill license, which would allow them to contract Kojima Productions to work on it. There has also been a roller coaster ride of speculation and controversy around a small developer based out of the Netherlands called Blue Box Game Studios and their potential involvement with Kojima or Konami. Due to some questionable marketing and framing, for a while, many believed that Blue Box Games' project codenamed Abandoned is actually an unannounced Silent Hill game. However, despite a number of confusing teases and tweets, those rumors have mostly been debunked, most recently by a FAQ on the official Blue Box Games website, but as you can imagine, some fans are still carrying that torch, while many others grew angry, deeming it a big marketing scam. Regardless, the PT Easter egg in Death Stranding is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a really cool nod to one of the most important horror games in the last decade, but on the other hand, it's also a reminder of Silent Hills, the promise of a legendary video game that may never come to pass. But what do you think? Is the ghostly encounter in Death Stranding Director's Cut just Kojima Productions having a bit of fun in the weeks leading up to Halloween? Or is it a sign of bigger things to come? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.